Hi, I'm Angie, and this is UK Money Wisdom. It's a very interesting topic today because for many people, retirement was once seen as the reward after a lifetime of work. Don't you agree? It was a chance to slow down and a chance to enjoy family, a chance to feel financially secure. But for a growing number of British retirees, something else is happening. They're looking overseas. And not because they want luxury, and it's not because they want yachts and champagne, although that would be very nice, but because they're trying to make their pension go further. So today we're looking at why increasing numbers of Britons are considering retirement abroad, the places they are choosing to go, the types of things that attract them, and perhaps most importantly, what many only discover after they've already moved. Because retiring abroad can absolutely work. For some people, it is life-changing in a positive way. But there are also risks, costs, and surprises that deserve careful thought before making such a major decision. So let's begin by looking at how many British pensioners actually live abroad, because the numbers often surprise people. There are currently more than 1.1 million UK state pension recipients living abroad. Some estimates put the figure even higher when all British retirees abroad are included. That means roughly 1 in 10 state pension recipients is living outside the UK. This is no longer a small niche group. It is a significant movement. And where are they choosing to go? The traditional favourites remain. They are Spain, Portugal, France, Cyprus, and Malta. Further afield, many retirees are also considering Thailand, Malaysia, Panama, and Mauritius. Although Spain remains one of the largest destinations for British expatriates, with hundreds of thousands of Britons living there. Portugal has seen particularly strong growth in recent years. So why are people leaving? The answer is surprisingly simple, and you probably guessed it. It's money. Many retirees feel squeezed from multiple directions. Rising household bills, energy, food, insurance, council tax, water bills, housing costs, and many are on fixed retirement incomes. Although the state pension has benefited from the triple lock, many pensioners still rely on small workplace pensions and modest private pensions and some savings income. And some feel their money simply doesn't stretch as far as it once did. At the same time, nearly 1 million older people have been reported as experiencing forms of deprivation linked to rising living costs. For some retirees, moving abroad appears to offer lower housing costs, cheaper food, lower utility bills, a warmer climate. The dream is easy to understand. Imagine a small apartment in Spain, coffee in the sunshine, outdoor living for much of the year, lower heating bills, lower living costs, a slower pace of life. For many people, that sounds extremely attractive. And sometimes it works exactly as planned. But this is where the story becomes more complicated. Let's discuss the problem many don't expect. Many retirees spend years planning the financial side, but they spend very little time planning the emotional side. Let's look at family. You may see children less often, grandchildren less often, your lifelong friends less often. Video calls help, of course, but they're not the same as being there. A birthday, a school play, a family emergency, these things can suddenly feel very far away. And loneliness can be a real issue. And this is probably the biggest hidden risk. Many retirees underestimate how much of their well-being comes from familiar faces, familiar places, community, and routine. People often imagine retirement abroad as a permanent holiday, but eventually holiday life becomes everyday life, and everyday life still requires friendships, purpose, belonging, and some retirees thrive, but others struggle. Healthcare can be more complicated than expected also. It's a major consideration for us. Many retirees assume, I'll just use the healthcare system. And sometimes that's true, but sometimes it isn't. Issues can include language barriers, specialist waiting times, private insurance requirements, unfamiliar healthcare systems. Even where arrangements exist through the appropriate scheme, navigating a completely different system can be challenging, particularly if health deteriorates later in retirement. And remember, most people move abroad when they're relatively healthy, and healthcare often becomes more important 10 or 15 years later. Then we have the Brexit effect. Before Brexit, moving around Europe was generally simpler. Today, there are additional considerations. These may include residency permits, visa requirements, income requirements, and healthcare requirements. And rules vary enormously between countries. And rules can change. That's why retirees need current professional advice rather than relying on information from internet forums or old articles. Some don't consider the tax surprise. Many people assume moving abroad means paying less tax, and sometimes that happens, but sometimes it doesn't, because different countries have different tax rates, different pension rules, different inheritance tax systems, different reporting requirements. The tax position can be significantly different from what people expect. And again, professional advice is often money well spent before making a permanent move. Then you have the issue of the frozen state pension trap. And this is one of the biggest surprises of all. Many retirees do not realise that UK state pensions are not uprated everywhere in the world. Around 480,000, about 500,000 overseas state pension recipients live in countries where annual increases are not paid. That affects many retirees living in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and certain other countries too. That means your pension can effectively remain frozen at the rate when you first claimed it. Recent estimates suggest a retiree could miss out on more than £77,000 of state pension income over 20 years because of lost annual increases. £77,000 in 20 years. And many people discover this far too late. So what seems to make retirement abroad work? There are three common themes. Number one is a financial buffer, having emergency savings. The suggested figure discussed was around £50,000 or more. Not because everyone needs that amount, but because unexpected events happen. Number two, good health. Relocation becomes much more complicated when health issues arise. Number three, adaptability. The people who often succeed best learn some of the language, build local friendships, become part of their community. They create a life, not simply a holiday. And here's a final thought. Perhaps the biggest lesson is this. Retirement abroad is rarely about sunshine, and it's rarely about beaches. Rarely it's about luxury either. Most often it's about trying to improve quality of life. And for some people that does work beautifully. For others, the things they missed most turn out not to be the weather, not the food, not the house, but the people, family, friends, community. Because financial security matters, but so does belonging. And belonging can be much harder to replace than many people imagine. Please remember my disclaimer that this content is for general information only and not personal financial advice. And it's based on current UK pension rules and public information available at the time of recording. Individual circumstances vary and rules can change. Always seek professional advice before making financial tax, healthcare, residency or relocation decisions. I'm Angie and this is UK Money Wisdom. I hope you'll subscribe in order to receive my future videos, and if you feel someone else could benefit from this information, please do share with them. So that's all from me today, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.